Hi, this is David. This is episode 100 of my Screencast, GCast, and I wanted to do something a little bit different. So I'm going to show you how I create these screencasts. I have a couple of tools that I use. In terms of hardware, I have a microphone. I could use a microphone that's built into my PC, and that would be okay, but I like to have something a little bit better. So I have for this, this is a boom mic attached to these headphones. This is a Microsoft Life Chat brand. I've had it for at least 5 years, maybe longer, maybe 8 years. And it's worked out pretty well. You can invest as much as you want into a microphone, but I would recommend that. The other thing you'll need is some software for doing screen capture, and I use a tool called Camtasia. You can get Camtasia at techsmith.com. I think there's a free trial, but the free trial is only good for like 30 days, so you really have to buy it. And if I look at this, I'll just see if I can find the pricing here. For Camtasia is $249 for a full license here. And I'm using an older version of it. I didn't upgrade to the newest one because it does what I want it to do. So that's one thing that I'll need, and then I can start recording. So a lot of the things that I do, I'll go to Azure and I might do something. So if I want to start recording, what I do is I'll save this project, I'll give it a name, something like, demo project, and then I'll hit record. And this little toolbox shows up right here. I should point out also that you'll notice that there's no taskbar. I like to hide the taskbar. Right-click on that, say Properties. This button here says Hide the Taskbar. And the reason is I don't want this to be tied to a date. I don't want to be obvious what date that I'm running this, because a lot of these things are still going to be applicable for a long time afterwards. And also it gives me a little more screen real estate to work with. So when I'm in here, now I want to start recording. I click Record, and this little countdown shows up here, 3, 2, 1. And now I'm start recording and say, hi, this is David, welcome to GCast, whatever. And I'll go through and I'll do whatever it is that I want to show off how to do. Maybe I want to create a Cosmos DB. And click on that. Oh, there we go. And start filling it out. And what will happen is that as I start to fill these things out, then it'll capture, the screen will just get captured in Camtasia. And the hotkey to stop recording that is F10. And you can see that not only is this little clip right here, but it's also down below. So if I play this, you'll actually see it and hear it. The reason I'm using a separate recording device is there's really no way to record Camtasia itself from within Camtasia. So that's why I'm doing it this way. And now I'm going to start recording and say, hi, this is David, welcome to GCast, whatever. And you can see right there. And I can edit out any mistakes that I made, or maybe change the volume, whatever I want to do. Sometimes, once in a while, I'll be able to do the entire screencast in one take. But that's usually not the case. There may be reasons why I want to break it up into a few different little screen snippets. And the reason is, one would be because maybe I need to get things set up ahead of time, maybe refresh my memory if it's something that I don't do very often, and then I'll splice them together. Or it may be that there's a spot in there, like I click on Create, and Azure might take 5 minutes to actually create a resource. Well, I don't want to just be staring at a blank screen for 5 minutes. I don't want the viewer to sit through that. So in those cases, I'll pause the recording, and then I'll go back when it's done, and I'll finish whatever it was I was doing. And that example, I should pause it and then start recording again, like that. And then, once I'm recording, then I'll go through and finish whatever it was that I was doing, and so on. And then F10, now I have a second clip right here. And if I zoom out of this, you'll notice that the first clip was automatically added to the timeline here. The second clip was not. If I want to do that, I have to drag it in myself. And usually if there's some sort of a time delay, if I know that I'm jumping ahead 5 minutes in time, I'll have some visual clue where there are some transitions right here. So something like maybe a page turn would be good here. And I'll mute my speakers so it's not too loud, but you'll see that when it gets to that point, there's something there, just anything that indicates that there was a major transition. And then in the narrative, I'll try to say out loud, that was 5 minutes had passed, and now we have our resource or something to indicate that this is, as you're doing this at home, it doesn't happen in 2 seconds. It's not you, it's me. So I get through all this right here, and the next thing I want to do is to share it. And I'll watch the entire thing just to make sure it's good. It's only typically my editor about 10 to 15 minutes long, so that's not that big a deal. And then I'll click on share, and I always share it to a local file. And I've actually created some custom settings, but you can specify exactly, or the first time I did this, I specified exactly what I wanted, I think, and go through next. I want a WMV file right here. There's some other options in here as well that I could do. And I walk through them because I've set it up, the right resolution that I want and so on. It just works. The name will be the name of the project, followed by .wmv. I've got a folder here that I always store my outputs in. And then I click on finish. Then it goes through and it just renders a new WMV file on screen. I'll let that go. It's going to take just a few more seconds. But in the meantime, I'll actually go to that folder. I think it was C/GCast/ no, I forgot where I put it. But give me a second, I will find it. And it is in GCast screencasts right there. And there they are. So there it is right here. And I can open this up and play it. And the volume's down, but I'll turn the volume back up. Maybe I want to create a Cosmos DB and so on. So now I've got this right here, this video, this WMV file, but I want to add some titles, I want to add an introduction, I want to add the outro, I want to add some music, and I use a different program for that. The program I use for my final edits, it's called Adobe Premiere Elements. I'm using version 2020. I think version 2021 just came out maybe a month or two ago, so I may upgrade to that. But what I can do here is typically what I do is I just open up the most recent episode. So here's GCast 99, and the reason I do that is because my intro and outro have a lot of similar elements, so I can just do a save as. So I'll open up this right here, and you probably have seen this if you watched the last episode, but you can see that at the very beginning there's a clip. This is the music. Not interested in that. Thanks anyway. Here's this intro that plays at the very beginning. In fact, like that. It has some music on it. Hi, this is David. And this one has a screencast that I did earlier. Also at the very end, you'll notice there's an outro. Music comes back in. And all that text. I want to keep all that. I just want to change some things like the name of the presentation and the recording date. And the episode number. But I don't want this part here. I'm going to do a different one. So what I'm going to do is, first of all, I'm going to say File, Save As, and my naming convention is GCast followed by the episode number 100, and I'll just say Demo Project for now, like that. And then when I go into my project assets, I will delete just that screencast, that WMV file that was created last time. I'll remove that from here, and that'll also automatically remove from here. And I will now add the C/GCast/screencast demo project right here and drag this into here. Like this, and because they're all different lengths, I may need to do something like that and just get it all in. And then finally, I'll change this episode number to episode 100. I'll change the title. Let's call it Demo Project. And then I'll do the same thing at the end, right here. Whatever the new title happens to be, I'll put that in also at the end. And here I'll change the date. So I do care about the date that it was published. I just don't want to emphasize the date it was recorded. Oops. Looks like I got that there twice for some reason. Come in here and change. I need a double click to get it into text mode. And I'll do this again. Recorded January 6, 2021. Right there. And then I'll just play it all one time just to make sure, because sometimes there might be a little bit of a lag at the beginning. I want to cut that out. And blah, blah, blah. But usually I do a pretty good job of, because of the countdown. 3, 2, 1, I immediately launch in. Hi, this is David. Today I'm talking about that. And at the very end, after I say, this is David, thanks for watching, then I immediately press F10 and stop it. So usually I don't have much to do here, but I'll just make sure that there aren't any hiccups or anything unexpected. The biggest thing is the volume. Sometimes the music is a lot louder than my audio input, and then I have to right-click here and say Clip Audio Gain and change that and maybe add 5 decibels, I guess it is, to this and make it a little bit louder. Just make sure that they're about the same. Once I'm done with that, save it again. File, save. I do like to save a lot. And then export and share. And because I've done this before, everything is right what I want it to be. The file name will be the same as the project. Because I've used this naming convention, they'll all appear in alphabetic order. The folder where I want all my final output is on my D drive right there, and I click on save, and then it just goes through and renders the entire video, saves it out as an MP4 file. And this is a really short one, so it'll just take a few seconds. Sometimes it takes several minutes if it's a 25-minute video. I don't think I've ever had one longer than 30 minutes. And then once I do that, then I'll upload it to YouTube. So if I go into a browser right here and go to I can do YouTube, or also the shortcut, of course, is aka.ms/GCast, and that'll take me right to my YouTube channel. But I want to make sure that I'm signed in. I have a few different YouTube channels. I got one for Technology and Friends, and I have a personal one. And I want to make sure it's possible that I may need to switch accounts for that. But I'm on GCast right now. So if I'm on GCast, then I can just go create, upload video. And here's where I add a video. And either click on this and navigate to it, or I can drag and drop. Because once this is done, I can open up the folder and just drag and drop. So that's either one of those. I think in this case, it's probably easier if I just drag and drop like that. And I like to take this GCast 100 at the beginning and put it at the end. Right here. And blah, blah, blah. Lorem ipsum. I put something that describes this. I will say, no, it's not made for kids. If I say it's for kids, then there's some other questions I have to answer to make sure it's appropriate for kids. This is really for all audiences. There's nothing special in here. There's no promotions. I do like to put some tags in here. I want to say that this is about technology, and this particular one happens to be about screencasting. So just things that people are searching for. I want to be able to be easy to find. The language is English. That's fine. These are defaults. Dates, I do put the date in, the recording date. The location is Chicago, which is where I live. And just the standard licensing, blah, 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 defaults, defaults, defaults. Next, next, and usually I can, if I've done just one, I'll make it public right away. However, sometimes what I'll do is I will schedule it and say maybe I might record 4 or 5 of them over the course of just a couple of days, and then maybe I don't want to release all 5 at once, but I'll upload them all, and I'll just say, don't release this one until Tuesday or something like that, because I don't really like to tell people about it until Thursdays. Thursday is my day to post on social media, post on my blog, let people know that there's a video available, even though it might have been out there for a couple of weeks. So I'll just say publish it now, just make it public. I think this one is a dummy one. I'm going to get rid of it right away. So I'll do that, and then it'll go through. And it says here that it's not really telling me what's going on, but I'm actually able to close this right now, and it'll continue to be uploaded until, or maybe I'm wrong. I may have closed it too soon. So let me do that again. Create, upload videos, drag and drop. And you can close it early, but maybe not too early. So here, let's just go through the whole thing again. GCast. I'd like to put a space in there as well. I think I missed that last time. Description. Down here, no more. There's Screencast, etc. Date is the 7th. Location is Chicago, Illinois, right here. And that's all good. Next, public, right there. Now I'll let it go again. This time it won't be quite so quick. 99% processing, so that was really fast. And eventually what will happen is if I go back, open up a tab, and open this up, I should see, there it is. It's not quite ready to go. Oh, it is. Actually, the last one did come out. So let me take a look at this one here. You can see that it's on here. Blah, 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 etc. And so I'll stop that. And really what I want to do is there's one more thing that I want to do. If I edit this video, I decided that these thumbnails they weren't quite doing it. And so what I came up with is a custom version of my thumbnails. I really wanted to, by default, it always shows one of these pictures here, something real close to the beginning, something close to the end, and then a screenshot. And the screenshot might be appropriate and it might not be appropriate. Sometimes it's really hard to tell what I'm doing. So what I've settled on for now is that I want the titles to be something like this. Big numbers for the title, for the episode number, white lettering for the title, and then a little picture of me, and I just vary that picture of me just sort of as a branding thing. You could do whatever you want. You could just take the default ones, but I've decided that I'm going to use PowerPoint to create those titles, and I have this thing right here, GCast title. So there's episode 99. To get the next one, I'll say, I'll duplicate that slide and just go through here and change. It's no longer 99, it's now 100, and give it a name, whatever, demo project here, right here, and once I have that, I just save the whole thing, and then I can do a save as. PowerPoint has this nice feature that lets you save as an image. So I'm going to go down to say this is a ping image, and I'm going to call it GCast 100, and when I do an image, it actually gives the option. Do you want to have an image of all the slides or just the one that's selected? And that's what I'm going to do. So now I have I think it's in my pictures is where I stuck it. No, I didn't. It's in GCast C/GCast /titles. That's where I have it. So right now I have this right here. And I'd probably change this picture here of me as well. So I just have just because that's my branding, I'll say, I'd get rid of, I'll show you a trick in PowerPoint. This selection pane lets you hide these other things. Makes it easier to select that thing. So go ahead and grab that, and then I'll drag a picture, and I have a bunch of pictures of myself that I've got just for this. Pictures of David, and I'll just take this photo right here. I haven't used that yet. And I'll say, here's a picture of me in Buenos Aires a couple of years ago, in front of the palace, where Evita sang her famous song. And unhide those things. And so there we go. And what I want to do is save that and do another file. Save as a ping file. Call it GCast 100. It exists, so I'll overwrite it, just this one slide, and now there we go. That's more like what I want, something like that. And then this is the one. If I go back to YouTube and edit this video, I have the option of uploading my own image like that and save that. So now this is what's going to be in my, see, your channel. What I should be. It takes a minute for it to show up. Oh, there it goes. Show up here. But eventually it's cached right now, but it'll show up as the default pretty soon. And that's it. And now I'm ready to go. And then on Thursday morning, I'll just put it on Twitter and Facebook and LinkedIn and add it to my blog. In fact, today is Thursday. So I just let people know about episode 98. 99 will be next week, and so on. So there it is. I write that, create a little blog post with this embedded thing in there. And there you have it. So if you wanted to do this, then you'll have to set up your own YouTube channel, which is easy. It's totally free to do that. You need to invest in a little bit of software and a little bit of hardware. You don't have to go really expensive. In fact, there are some free things out there if you want to play around with them. These are just the tools that I use. This is David. Thank you for watching.